working?
Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
We have an intro now.
Play the intro.
China. We need independence.
Yeah. And what's your message to? Have you seen Donald Trump? Do you think he should step in?
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
Run. What day is it today, John? Today Friday?
It's January 21st. No, it's Thursday.
It's
today.
not quite Friday today, is it? Like, I also wanted to.
That's one of the greatest. That's one of the greatest intros. Good job, Jim.
We worked hard on that. It took us about 3 days to make it. We went through 4 different employees. It's a good day today, man. It's almost Friday.
It is. We have a new president.
We have a new president.
He's got 24 hours in now.
Yeah, he's 24 hours in. About 24 hours left before we get another president. I think we're gonna be okay these next 4 years.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm waiting for Dr. Joe Biden to come through. Did you see this, by the way?
I can't wait till they give Dr. Jill her own show.
I can't wait till she gets her own show too, man. So anyways,
what do you think? They're gonna give her like a lifetime show so she can do Q&As?
I think it would be something more along the lines of
Like a Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil show, yeah. Where she has what's that one girl? Catch Me Outside girl. You've never seen Catch Me Outside girl?
I've heard of it.
Catch Me Outside.
I don't know her
How
name.
about that?
Yeah, I know, but isn't that Dr. Phil?
Yeah, it's Dr. Phil. She became famous because of Dr. Phil. So
there you go.
Shout out to the Catch Me Outside girl. So we got a lot on our plates today. And there's actually we're gonna cover what the hell is going on in Portland. Somebody in Portland didn't get the memo. Another thing we're gonna talk about is corporations and the government.
Crony capitalism?
Crony capitalism.
Can't wait.
And then we're gonna talk about the press conference, the first press conference. It was so beautiful and magical, and it made everything
majestic.
It was majestic. I cried, actually. I literally cried yesterday of how beautiful it was. I'm glad that there's sanity back in the White House, and that there's decency, and that they're not gonna lie to us anymore. So that's
absolutely
good.
not. There's no point.
Also, stick around for stupid news. Today we got AOC versus Ted Cruz. We've also got animal news and our daily recall. John, what the hell is going on in Portland, my friend?
I don't know what's going on in Portland.
It's like, okay, so do you remember Portland having riots, right? They took siege of entire city for 100 days.
Wasn't that in Seattle?
Yes, Seattle. It's Oregon. Let's just say what's happening in Oregon. All right, let me see.
That's Washington. Seattle's in Washington.
And Oregon? What Oregon? What's Oregon?
Oregon, Portland, Oregon.
Oregon's not a state; it's a country.
All right, Jim.
Anyways, let me see if I can
Jim
find
got a D in geography, so don't mind him.
All right. Well, let's just say that.
I don't want we are ungovernable.
So if you can't see this, it's saying we are ungovernable. We don't want Biden. We want revenge with a gun on it. And there seems to be people dressed in all black, Antifa like gear.
Looks like it.
But there's peace symbols and a heart, so that's good.
There's peace, heart, and anarchy symbols all in one.
Yeah,
sign.
So that's good. So apparently they're not happy about the fact that
what happened here?
That President Biden was inaugurated, right? So the night of President Biden's inauguration, DHS and ICE federal officers deploy an arsenal of lethal munitions, less than lethal munitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're right outside an ICE
Probably
facility.
rubber bullets and
so this
tear
is
gas.
Yeah. Oh.
That doesn't look like it's fun. Oh,
this guy.
I love the guy who's got a fucking umbrella. He's thinking like, oh, I'll be all right. I'm just gonna hide behind this umbrella.
He's got a disco
while
ball
he just
hat.
got shot.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh wow.
Oh, there. So that was outside an ICE facility, right?
They probably shoot him with pava balls too.
That one kind of makes sense, you know, because it seems right up their alley. They've kind of been at this for some time now. The thing that doesn't make sense to me, a little bit, let's see if we can find it, is that they were destroying the Democratic headquarters.
They're burning the flag? What the fuck's wrong with these people?
That's normal.
What are you guys doing?
That's just a Tuesday in Portland.
Why are they starting to, why is Oregon starting to act like Florida?
Oregon?
Why don't you guys act right?
All right, here they're
Fuck
still at
ICE.
it.
She's angry.
Where do you think she works at?
At the animal hospital? I don't know.
Oh, that'd be great. I volunteer at the animal shelter on the weekends.
This is what happens when you have too many part-time substitute teachers during lockdown.
Oh, God.
Because they can't teach Zoom calls.
So we'll go ahead and cut through the...
Identified vulgarities against the windows. They had vulgarities.
Oh, Antifa in Portland ignores Biden's unity calls. I thought you guys had full-blown control of these guys.
Yeah, so this is
what
them
happened?
On the... well, there's more imagery right there, but they're out there destroying the Democratic headquarters out there.
Nice.
Right, but the thing that's interesting to me, John, and there's a lot of interesting things about this, it's just the framing, right?
Yeah.
So if you can read that, it says Portland police charge 8, right? But that shouldn't be the headline, right?
Demonstrators vandalize Democratic Party offices.
Should be the headline, right?
Yeah.
Like, you think a natural effect of destroying a building like that would just be expected, right? So it's really interesting because I don't know if you heard or not, but they're still trying to impeach Donald Trump.
Are they?
They are, actually.
That's fantastic.
They're still trying to impeach Donald Trump in an effort for...
What day is it today?
Today is the 21st.
The 21st, yeah. He's no longer in office.
He's no longer in office?
Just somebody send these guys a memo. Get off the fucking streets.
Whoever's sending these memos that didn't send it to Antifa, who didn't send it to these House members. Well, anyways, but it's interesting because...
Could we send like an activist down there and like start taking like job applications for these maniacs? Maybe if they had work, they wouldn't have time to go out and riot in the streets. So maybe get them like somebody from Monster or Indeed, both not sponsors, by the way.
We're not sponsored,
just to show up at these rallies and be like, you guys seem very, very passionate about your cause here. I feel like maybe if you use this for some good, I'm just saying. Get a fucking job is what I'm saying.
So here's the thing,
crazy bastards. Get off the street. Stop trying to fight the police.
Here's the thing that's making me feel kind of
fun and games until someone gets shot in the mouth
behind an umbrella.
Yes.
So here's the thing that's making me feel gaslit, John. The fact that we're having, you remember the riots in the Capitol, right? The reason they impeached Trump was because he incited violence, right?
Yes.
So you're seeing this, right?
Because he said, peacefully make sure your voice is heard.
Right.
And that's when they took over the Capitol.
So here's the thing. According to the New York Times article, it says right here, I answered the call of my president. Rioters say Trump urged them on, right? So if that
by the hack New York Times.
By the hack New York Times, right? Yeah. So they found
they should just
legal
change,
documents.
They should just
charges.
change the New York Times to the hack.
To the hack?
That would be
That's actually really good.
A really good.
That's fucking. You gotta write that down.
I write that down. We're gonna start a new.
Join us next week.
Join us next week.
You know what?
On the hack.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Fuck it. Thanks for joining us on the last GasLit podcast. Join us tomorrow.
All right, guys.
Or next week. You know what? Fuck it. We'll go tomorrow.
We'll go tomorrow. Okay.
We'll go tomorrow's Friday. And then on Monday, new administration, new podcast name. Join us for The Hack. Hey, we just, technically, this is our first time using it. And yeah, we're going to be trademarking this.
Yeah.
And since no one is watching us, I'm sure it'll still be available on Monday.
All right, so let's just use this logic, right? Because they're logical people. We're logical people. The Democrats are logical, right? So logic says
I think logic left them a long time ago.
A person in a position of power said something to incite violence, right?
Correct.
Okay. That's what it's saying here. That they're saying that supporters heard their cry and,
like when Hulk Hogan says, "All my Hulkamaniacs." That's like a person. That's a person of power.
Oh yes, I remember the riots of the '80s and the '90s.
That's right.
Hulkamania in town
was running wild.
All right. So let's use that logic. We're consistent too, right? The Democrats are consistent. We can apply consistency all across the board. Tell me, is this it? No. Tell me. You got to listen to this. Check this out.
What's going on?
What
is she saying? What is she cackling about now?
Here we go. Listen to this. If,
I can't wait.
Again,
for
remember
cackle.
the argument is person in position of power, Trump, says something, incites violence, right?
Correct.
Person in position of power,
I think that's been established now by the
Vice
left.
President Kamala Harris.
That's the equation I believe that the left
For
established. Correct. For impeachment. Go ahead.
So check this out.
Play the clip, Jim.
That I know that there are protests still happening in major cities across the United States. I'm just not seeing the reporting on it that I had
That's right.
for the first few weeks.
That's right. But they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And they're not. This is a movement. I'm telling you, they're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
Did you hear what I heard?
Them some rioting words.
Those are rioting words. That's like the Hulkamania coming into town and saying,
with the millions and the billions.
okay.
Hold on. But it's Kamala Harris. She could incite riots.
It's a Democrat. They let you do
she's a
these
Democrat.
they let you do these kinds of things, right?
Okay, Jimmy, when is the bullshit gonna stop? God damn it, Jim. When are we just gonna call a spade a spade? Why is it any time they want, they swing the narrative so that their agenda gets pushed? Why? Why is it like if Donald Trump says something, he's evil, he's a fascist, he's racist, he's attacking this group of people, or he's attacking a specific race?
Right.
Whereas when Kamala comes out and says, oh, there's going to be rioting, get ready for more rioting,
and
it's going to go on.
They should not let up.
And they should not let up.
Yeah.
When she says it, it's considered what, cannon fodder?
Cannon fodder?
Fodder?
Father? Dad? Look, you're right. I don't. That's
no. Isn't it?
I'm saying, like,
isn't it bullshit?
We have principles,
though?
right? The Democrats are principled people. They should apply this to the.
There is no principles.
They're principled.
On one side.
They're
no,
for the little people,
no.
John. They're for the POCs, the COPs, the LGBTQCs. They're for everyone.
They're more like a POS.
So, why was I bringing this up? Oh, okay.
You're bringing this up because this is the double standard that exists.
So this is more,
and this is what gets reported, and 95% of the population sees this shit because this is the only thing that's on television.
So this is more recent, actually.
This is all mainstream media.
Yeah. So
what you're showing is not off of like some back channel.
No.
This is Colbert.
No, this is up in your face.
This is MSNBC,
Late night.
CNN.
They're letting them do this, right?
So they're saying
Trump
it's okay to go out and riot.
You're right. Trump gives a speech that's shown on C-SPAN in front of hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And
that nobody watches.
And a couple thousand nuts go and storm the Capitol, and we have to raise hell and put this guy in jail as a result. She can do this on national TV over and over again, because, look, check this out.
That they sent these law enforcement officers into cities wearing camouflage. Camouflage. We send folks into war wearing camouflage so they can blend into the environment to ensure their safety as they are deployed on a mission that is in our national interest. So what is going on here? When you send camouflage uniformed officers into a city without any clear identification to direct their force
Damn,
at
that guy's
peaceful
not going
protesters.
down.
There is clearly
That's a lot of
there
pepper
is
spray.
clearly an abandonment
Pause
of
this
mission.
really quick. So she just said, in her words, she said, we deploy agents, federal agents, or when we send our military into wars for our national interest. Is it not in our national interest to keep rioters from pillaging our cities? Is that not our national interest when rioters are attacking small businesses, innocent people, other protesters? Is that not in our national interest?
Is that a rhetorical question?
Yes. Go ahead.
just also really quick, some context. This is actually from when they were trying to storm the federal courthouse in
Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we saw how
Back
great
last year.
it worked out in Seattle when they let them take over.
Yeah. So they were trying to get
Chaz
the
or
federal
whatever
courthouse.
that
so
shit was.
Only by
They
the
took over
Department of
city
Homeland
blocks.
Security when doing that, but clearly.
Whoa, wait. Are you saying there's another? Hold on. I just thought about something. Where did we see troops on the ground? Everywhere. Recently.
At the Capitol, were they wearing fatigues?
No, they weren't fatigued, but they were in camouflage.
Were they?
They were all the inauguration.
Were they all wearing
Yeah.
their full-blown
They were in
uniform?
full-blown gear,
Oh,
all
shit.
over the Capitol yesterday. But it's cool though. Like I said,
Oh,
it's,
that's
it's fine.
true.
It's fine.
That's true.
Because here's the
Because
thing.
I saw a bunch sleeping on the floor.
It's fine.
They were wearing like their.
It's fine because they're Democrats and they're principled. The Republicans are evil people. That's
Did
just.
you see that they were even vetting the soldiers to make sure that they align with the left, and they dismissed all the ones that had conservative roots?
Yeah, it was actually all over the news yesterday. Remember the morning? Not yesterday, the day before. And
So what
all
are we
evening.
saying? That it's only okay to be Democrat in this country now?
Here's the thing that makes me feel gaslit, John. Great at this. I'm getting better at this. If Donald, this is a stupid game about whataboutism, but here, check this out. If
Get all your
Donald Trump said, "I need you to go through the National Guard and see who's loyal to Barack Obama and remove them," how much wall-to-wall coverage do you think that would get?
Jesus, that would be the only thing they talk about for the next 4 years of his administration.
We're talking about dictatorships, right?
Absolute authoritarian move. Absolutely.
Like, why are...
Yeah, but that's the
It's a
thing.
stupid question, but why
So-
are we okay with it?
So that's what they do when they're gaslighting you.
Yeah.
Is they're calling the other side the authoritarian when all of their policies are authoritarian.
Yeah.
Locking down cities, making mandates and then not following them themselves. Telling people when they can open, how they can
Businesses.
open, yes.
Shutting down
How
the
they
middle
should
guy.
run. Getting them to invest thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to renovate, to meet their requirements, and then locking them down.
Locking them down.
Even though they went and complied with your mandates. These are all the steps that authoritarians use to disable
Yeah. And then you get
any type of. I mean, you have no. We have no say, right? As business owners, we have no say. If the city wants to come and shut us down, there's nobody we can go to.
the city.
The city can just come and say, you know what, we don't consider you essential, and shut you down.
Yeah. And then they get their big friends together, the big guys, right?
Well,
The big
boys all play.
The big boys all play, and the big boys do favor for this administration. Brings us to our next point, John. Did you hear about this? Check this out.
Let's see.
Amazon is offering its colossal operations network and advanced technologies to assist President Joe Biden in his vow to get 100 million COVID-19 vaccinations to Americans in his first 100 days in office. The CEO of Amazon's worldwide consumer division, Dave Clark, said in a letter to Biden that the company has a deal with a licensed third-party occupational health care provider
That's
to give
convenient.
vaccines on-site at its
Who owns
facility.
that?
Biden will sign 10 pandemic-related executive orders today, his second day in office, but the administration says efforts to supercharge the rollout of the vaccines have been hampered by lack of cooperation from the Trump administration
really
during
quick?
the transition.
It's over. So
Is Hunter Biden a chairman on that third party? I'm just wondering.
I don't know what that they didn't name a third party.
No, they just said there was a third
Yeah, but I
party
don't know
that
if
they're
they
going to
didn't-
use to
they didn't name
to
it.
distribute the
The,
vaccines.
the interesting thing-
Who are the board members on that third party?
We're gonna have to look.
Are
that
they
up.
members of Blackstone?
Ooh, oh.
Are they members of? Obviously, Amazon already has their foot in the door.
So remember we talked about this recently. The lady who's going to be heading the antitrust for Biden is an Amazon and Google lawyer.
Correct.
So, but here's another thing that. How long has the vaccine been available?
Since November,
Since November, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how long have we been aware that a vaccine is
readily available.
going to become readily available, right?
They said it would take a few months.
Yeah. So what happened?
There are
with,
logistics issues too. Anytime you're doing massive rollouts of things like that.
But why would Amazon approach the United States government now?
Crony capitalism at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
Because now there's a vested interest in doing the distribution.
Yeah.
This had nothing to do with them helping get the vaccine out faster. This had to do with them profiting from getting the vaccine out faster.
And guess what's coming fast at you these next couple of years when it comes to big tech?
It's going to be a hardcore,
A lot of regulations coming.
hardcore crony capitalism
But
going on.
who are we going to, I scratched your back, you remember? I helped you roll out those vaccines, remember? We helped save the United States, remember?
Don't forget who subsidized the cost of doing all these things.
Yes.
It's the United States government, which is us, which is the taxpayers.
So the video said something that's really interesting that I think is we should touch upon is the fact that they said that the Trump administration they were having troubles. That's what they're saying, that they had having troubles with the way Trump administration wanted to handle the rollout of the vaccines, right? So if you look on your morning news, you're going to realize that Biden signed a whole bunch of stuff, right? One of
Biden releases national COVID strategy, will order agencies to use Defense Production Act.
Have you heard those words before? Those last three words?
No.
You haven't heard them?
No.
Well, the Defense Production Act was already enacted by Donald Trump in March, right?
Wow.
Back in March of last year. But here's the interesting thing. He didn't want to have to force people to do things if he didn't need to. He didn't want to use the power of the federal government to force corporations and companies to do things if they were going to do those willingly for the people, which was happening. Joe Biden, what he's going to do, what the difference is now, is he's going to use the power of the federal government to have these people do all this stuff that he needs them to do. So when the vaccines came out, Donald Trump left it up to the states to roll out their vaccines.
Correct.
Because who knows them better than themselves, right? Now Joe Biden's
and who needs it, and who needs it.
Right.
Right.
They know who needs it.
As opposed to mandating it.
Right.
For specific groups or for specific individuals.
Joe Biden's health secretary came out and says that they're going to be doing everything on an equity basis. So they believe in science, but we also believe that we should do everything on a racial justice basis. Right?
Clearly. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything will be affirmative now.
Everything. Oh, let me close this real quick.
Everything is now. Every company is going to have
where was I going with this? For the federal government. Okay, yeah. So I mean,
a chief diversity officer.
Yeah. What do you think?
We're gonna need to hire a chief diversity officer over here.
We do actually. We gotta have him sitting right there, and every time we say something, we have to look at them, and they're gonna be.
And they're just gonna be looking at us with.
Can we say that?
We'll just fire him and hire a new one.
I guess what I'm trying to get with this, John. What do you think would probably work best? Do you think we should leave this at the federal level, or we should put this at the state level?
Less government intervention is always best, especially when you're dealing with private sector. The more government gets involved in the private sector, the more you get these backdoor deals, you get these bullshit acts, spending bills, things that are just set up to milk our tax dollars, okay, to help subsidize whatever they're doing, because it takes, obviously we gotta it's an emergency situation right now, so all hands on deck. We need every dollar so that we can get it out, get it to the people as fast as you can, while you'll have hundreds of thousands of vaccines lying around somewhere with nobody signing up to go get it vaccinated. But we got to spend the money. We got to get it. We got to do this in an expedited manner. And all that's doing is just sucking our nation dry and putting us in a huge deficit that later we're gonna have to pay, for. We're gonna answer to, and it's all gonna come off of the citizens.
Joe Biden referenced somebody yesterday. He said your children and your children's children.
He did.
Those are the people that are
gonna suffer for what they're gonna do in the next 4 years. So, yeah, it's a sad day in Oz.
I just also want to make a quick note. So if you look up Trump and the Defense Production Act, the hhs.gov website, there used to be this article. It says right here, Trump administration uses Defense Production Act. You click it. Somebody has removed it.
What?
Yeah. But if you go to Cached, which is like an old time stamp,
Yep.
you can find the article still.
Trump administration, go back to that. Let me read what that article says. Trump administration used Defense Production Act to aid our most vulnerable. But if you click on it now, it does not exist.
Yeah.
It's already starting. This is what China looks like. When you click on an article, when you click on a specific link, when you try to look up something and it doesn't show up, this is how they filter their media. This is how they filter information.
Yeah.
It's happening now in the United States.
If I had to give them the benefit of the doubt, do you think maybe it's just archiving that they do? Maybe.
No.
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 You don't think it was somebody that was like?
I think they're very aware of what they're doing, and I think they want to get rid of any remnants of Trump's administration's anything positive that the Trump administration did for this country, because it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't bode well for when they want to go and do an impeachment or a. They're probably going to start a criminal case against Donald Trump now, because that's part of the agenda, right? They still need, remember, they always need a common enemy.
Yeah.
So who else are they going to pick on now that the orange man is out of office?
Christians.
Yeah, Christianity's under attack as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they make religion
put some restrictions on those bad boys, huh?
Well, here's the thing. Religion in schools right now, it's also in our when we say our national anthem, right? Because we're one nation under God. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to edit that out of our national anthem. We are becoming radicalized, at such a rapid level. This is not us all deciding, oh yes, some of this stuff makes sense, I can see this point of view. No, there's like 5% of the population that is so radical, and they're trying to radicalize the other 95%, and we have no say in it, because we have no control over what our media says. We have no control over what we're seeing. And so even if this generation doesn't succumb to this kind of bullshit, the future generation has absolutely no shot, because this is all they're going to get pushed.
They're normalizing all of this.
They're normalizing fucking insanity. They're normalizing turning children into transgenders. They're normalizing cutting religion out of our culture, out of our society. Mm-hmm. They're normalizing, everything that we used to consider morally wrong. They're making it mainstream now. It's mainstream now to do the weirdest shit that you could possibly think of, because that's America now. America is now, I want to say so many curse words, but it's just a clusterfuck of misinformation, red herrings. Look over here while we're,
it's
robbing you blind.
It's great that you would mention something like that, because the normalization of it, I just think how casual it is the thing that kind of catches me by surprise. So if you were to go onto Twitter, and you were to see a lot of these socialist types, the people who believe in the gender ideology, right? They'll say things like, we need to seize the means of production and give it to all the people. And then they have like a little their avatar is like of a furry. And I just think it's so weird. But then I look at them.
That's funny, because I didn't even know what furries were until you mentioned that a week ago.
Look, if anybody deserves to be protected as a class, it's gonna be, and this is gonna be controversial. It's furries. Furries need to be protected. All right. Look, again, I feel like if we're gonna do something, and I will say this over and over again, if we're gonna do something, everybody gets to do it. If something's gonna be done upon somebody, it's because we're gonna apply that all across the board equally. It just makes sense to me, you know?
I'm worried for our country, Jim.
Yeah.
I think we're going down a really, really dark path right now. Biden was talking about a cold winter. This is
Freezing?
This is unbelievable.
How much of it do you think, so when Trump became president, leftists, feminists, Antifa type, all these people thought that it was going to be the end of the world? How much of that feeling do you think is that on the right now? That would just, and it was fine. Trump's, I mean,
look, when Trump got inaugurated, there were riots right after, right?
Right, yeah.
They showed that in Washington, D.C.
Yes,
they were rioting on the streets.
Yeah.
There was no riots when Biden got elected.
That's correct.
Except in Portland.
Except that, well, also the Capitol riots.
Well, the Capitol riots were prior to.
Right.
I'm talking about actually when
the
new president took office.
Yeah. There wasn't any drone attacks like they said that they were going to be on Channel 2. Channel 2 said that.
Lying bastards.
Yeah.
We're going to get gaslit a lot in this new administration. I mean, this is going to be the norm now. It's going to be, don't believe your eyes, believe what we tell you. Because that's the truth. So the truth is whatever we're shoving down your throat. So just shut up and comply.
So you think conservatives know that on the face things look like they're okay? Because the media will hide stuff. The administration looks nice. They're diverse.
They're going to keep telling us that everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Robbing you.
While they're robbing us. While they're robbing our country blind.
And do you think that's why conservatives feel crazy right now and feel worried? You feel worried? You feel
I don't even think it's just conservatives. I think conservatives have already lost their freaking mind. They've lost their identity because they don't even know what they stand for anymore. They're just they've gotten run over. They literally got flattened over by the media. If you're a conservative right now, I mean, they bulldozed you over. You have no say anymore. They are silencing the big conservative media channels. Anybody who's a conservative, like talk show host or anything, they're taking them off the air. You're not even supposed to get a different perspective. You're supposed to get whatever they want to shove down your throat. And besides that, you have the normal Democrats, the ones that are like in the 90%, that are mostly moderate, that can still have discourse, that they're not okay. Well, if we don't agree about abortion, or we don't agree about tax hikes, or we don't agree, that's fine. We can still sit down and have a beer. We can still be neighbors. We don't have to be like out with pitchforks trying to attack each other. Even those people feel alienated now because they're like, why are we going so, like, why are we so gung-ho against everybody? Why do we have to divide up everything where it's got to be this way, or you're a fascist, you're a racist, you're wrong, you're not with the times kind of thing. And so they just confused. I think 95% of the population feels confused now because this radicalization of the media, I mean, I get it. I get why they're doing it. It's obviously for profit. First of all, this type of shit sells, right? People watch when there's conflict. People watch. Nobody watches, dog save girl out of the well. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
They want to see, like, white guy punches black guy, because he grabbed, the wife's ass or something. That makes for great television,
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with black or white. It would have been done the same way the other way around, right?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with race, but that headline turns it into black versus white. White man attacks black man. Or when it could, if you wrote it the other way around, black man attacks white man for grabbing his wife's ass.
That's just a local story, maybe at best.
Not even. It wouldn't even get. It wouldn't even get.
That's just a police report at best.
Yeah. No, it would be justified too, right?
Yeah.
Same way.
But this is what I'm talking about. Like, I think I would have to disagree with you there. I don't think that people are confused. I think people don't even know that they're in it.
I think they have to be.
They don't.
Cognizant of the fact that this is happening.
So. I don't think so. I think that they know that the orange man is gone.
And all things are good?
We're good. And here's the thing. And here's my case in point. So yesterday we had a press conference, the first press conference, right, of the Biden administration, and people were loving it. They went crazy. And you can tell me why.
Truth and transparency. We talked about the importance of bringing truth and transparency back to the briefing room. And he asked me to ensure we are communicating about the policies across the Biden-Harris administration and the work his team is doing every single day on behalf of all American people.
Can you pause that? Have you noticed when they refer to this administration, they don't refer to it as the Biden administration, they refer to it as the Biden-Harris administration. Are they foreshadowing?
That's actually a very good observation. I didn't notice that.
Because it used to be the Trump administration.
Yeah, right.
The Trump administration. The Trump administration.
Yeah.
Because Trump is the president. Where was the president now, but when they referred to it, nobody ever referred to it as the Trump-Pence administration.
Right.
They referred to it as a Trump. But this administration is referred to as always the Biden-Harris administration.
That's actually a very good observation. I did not notice.
Let's keep playing that.
Oh, did I meet this? Poor lady.
All of us. That's okay. That's part of our democracy. And rebuilding trust with the American people will be central to our focus in the press office and in the White House every single day. We are in the middle of an urgent crisis in this country. It's not just impacting Democrats, it's impacting Republicans, it's impacting red states and blue states. And this plan is intended to address the suffering of the American people. So we are only less than a day, has he been president of the United States, but he's going to continue to work with members of both parties to get it done. Remember, he spent 8 years here as the vice president, playing an important role as a partner to President Obama. And, that was the emotion that overtook him today. He's also eager to get to work. He was asking questions about policy and COVID and what's next.
Where he's at.
So, that also reflects his desire.
How do I get to my office?
Sleeves and get going.
So if President Biden wants the theme of his presidency to be unifying the country, does he think that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer should drop a potentially divisive Senate impeachment trial?
Just like the American people can, the Senate can also multitask.
John, just really quick. I can multitask, but I'm not good at it.
Yes, I know this.
And they can do their constitutional duty while continuing to conduct the business of the American people. And his view is that the way to bring the country together is to address the problems we're facing. Well, his priority is first rebuilding our partnerships and alliances around the world and regaining America's seat at the global table. And you can see that is evidenced in his rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, rejoining the World Health Organization, his plans to engage with partners and allies and work together to address many of the threats and issues we're facing around the world. But I think that is what you will see as his focus in the weeks
Pause that
ahead.
really quick.
That's almost done.
Is it done?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay. So this mass globalization of society, this like mass globalization where all these climate agreements, all of these economic, the World Economic Forum, you don't think all of these things, like, tell me what your perspective is, because you're a progressive leftist, right? So you don't think there's this mass agenda to start enslaving everybody?
No. You're crazy.
Am I?
You are.
Am I?
You are.
This is not like the hardest
if I had to take
Illuminati move.
If I had to take a wild guess, you ever see movies where there's aliens and they show up and they're these these beings that are androgynous. They're very smart. They don't need to eat. They don't need to poop. Like,
Yes.
all that stuff is. I feel like, and this is crazy talk, right? This is all conspiratorial. I kind of feel like if they're going to be doing all that you're saying, that's what they're heading to create this being that is technologically advanced, androgynous, no gender, all part of a one united system, right? And technologically advanced, so we can connect with other beings that are similar, right? It's a conspiracy theory.
So you think aliens are non-binary? That's why they're pushing the non-binary.
I feel like that's where they're heading to. Getting rid of why they're making babies in labs, right?
Yeah.
Why they're doing all this. There has to be an end goal. It's not just for the advancement of the human. Well, if it's for the advancement of the human race, the advancement into what? Why do we need all this stuff? Like, why do we need to be, again, conspiracy theory here, why would we have to get microchipped? Like, why would we have to turn people into androids of sorts?
We've already become pretty much androids because
mentally.
Well, not just mentally. I mean, most people don't travel without their phone attached to them, right?
Yeah.
So in some way, it's like a third limb now. If you're, I mean,
right, because you're already connected.
It's
to
like your third hand, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
When you think about it,
that's a good observation.
So
dude, you're on point. We gotta have like a good observation board here somewhere. Look, man.
I'm saying it's been this way.
Yeah,
and everything is going more and more into not having to use, for example, fiat currency. Everything is becoming easier. That now you can pay with things through your phone. You can unlock your doors through your phone. You can
have a friend.
Have access. You can send money to your friends through your phone. You can do a lot of things now through your phone, and that's why 5G is so important. When we were talking about networks, is because when you expand that bandwidth, now you have all these additional things that you're able to do with 5G wirelessly that makes it capable. Like, for example, like the AIs, right, that are helping figure out when you're doing autonomous driving. You can't have that technology without 5G. You have to have, because imagine if all these cars are on the road at the same time, right?
Yeah.
The bandwidth that's required for all of these cars to know, certain locations, GPS, AGPS, is somebody under a bridge, over. You don't want to lose, you can't lose a car mid-drive and have them drive into a ditch somewhere, right?
Right.
So the 5G is enabling them to do that. That's why it's so important, because with 5G, now everything can become automated, right?
Right.
More automated. We'll get to...
And then we'll have the masses doing
LTE is long-term evolution. That's what it stands for. So this is not the beginning. This is like the baby steps. We'll get to where...
The androgynous alien type of people. I think that's where we're getting to.
But as far as like the World Economic Forum, the Paris Climate Accord, like these types of things, these are all just agendas that they want to push on a global scale, and have everybody sign on a dotted line saying, okay, we're on board. The WHO.
Right.
The World Health Organization has been fantastic at mitigating COVID. That's why we had 400,000 deaths already in the United States.
But here's... No, so go ahead.
Do you know who runs these organizations? Just because if we open up a corporation tomorrow, call it the World Economic Organization
of Forums.
The World Forum of Economic Ability. That doesn't make us an authority on anything.
Right, we just sound fancy.
It sounds great. It's a great. It's a lot of fancy words put together, and then what we can go fundraise. We can go get money. We can get. We can have a few experts. I can get a few doctors. I can get the girl who gave that beautiful speech at Biden's inauguration to come and speak whenever we need to.
But that's what I'm trying to point.
Because think about it, if you can speak eloquently,
right,
and you lay down whatever agenda you want to lay down, people are just going to be like, wow, that sounds right.
This is why I brought up the news conference, right? Because the whole Biden administration, it looks good, it's racially diverse. people who don't know, who are in the bubble, think this is good, right? But look, check this out. So they had the interview yesterday, the press conference, and everybody came out like, yes, a return to normalcy. Truth is in the White House now. Everything is just gonna be facts, right?
Facts only.
This is the same lady 4 years ago.
But Jen, as you know, you worked at the State Department, you're now at the White House. As you know, it's one thing to be discreet and not release all the information to the public for sensitive reasons, whether it's classified or diplomacy or whatever, but it's another thing to flat out lie to the news media and to the American public, which is what your predecessor, Victoria Nuland, did when she was asked back in 2013 whether or not there were secret bilateral government-to-government negotiations going on with Iran, and she said no. That was a lie, right?
Well, I think you'd have to speak to my predecessor about that. What I can tell you is that what I was doing, not just that day when this question was asked, the fact is a week before this, I proactively talked through every aspect of the back channel at the State Department briefing. I was also supportive of and involved with the briefing of press and the stories that came out before that. So my role was providing information. I was an advocate of that, about the back channel. It was at the time where we could do that because of where the diplomatic negotiations were. There's a long history for decades, again, of not being able to provide information when it's at a sensitive time that could have an impact. And that certainly was the case earlier that year.
But then there was this subsequent, when you were the State Department spokeswoman, subsequent exchange you had with James Rosen of Fox. So when he asked why Victoria Nuland had lied about those direct bilateral negotiations, I'll play the clip once again. Listen to this.
Is it the policy of the State Department where the preservation secrecy of secret negotiations is concerned to lie in order to achieve that goal?
James, I think there are times where diplomacy needs privacy in order to progress.
So the accusation against you, Jen, and I want to give you a chance to respond, is that you were defending that earlier lie from Victoria Nuland.
All right, so that was roast number one, right? We won't go for the rest of it, but check this out. All right, saying it right.
So that's Wolf Blitzer, right?
That's one of their own.
That's one of their own.
That's one
lighting her up.
I don't know who this
for lying.
I don't know who this guy is, right? But remember, she's honest. Honesty is back in the White House, right?
100%. Let's go.
Institutionally, look at her proposed policy to use a personal email under the assumption that emails to official addresses would be captured, and say yes, that's fine, or no, that's not fine.
I'm just not in a position to speak to a conversation that may have taken place 6 years ago, Arshad.
But looked into that at all?
I just don't have more information for you.
But you don't have more you don't have more information from me. You may have the answer, but you just don't want to say it publicly, or you don't have the answer.
I don't have more information for you on a conversation that may or may not have taken place 6 years ago, Arshad. I would have you pose that to Secretary Clinton and her team.
They're talking about the email servers.
Yeah, I got that.
She's lying about the servers.
Yeah, but this is the honesty that we deserve.
Right. It's... Oh, okay.
As U.S. citizens, I mean, I don't expect anything less.
Yeah, but here's the thing. People don't know they're in this bubble.
You know who I really like? Kayla McEnany. She was a savage when she'd get on the
I love that
podium.
binder. Yeah, but people hated her. People thought that she was the worst.
Oh, I thought she was awesome.
Just look, if you guys don't know this, the whole point of a White House press secretary is to make the president look good. So 100%. Sometimes that requires lying. There's no honesty in the White House press secretary at all, because they have one goal and one goal only, and that's to make the president look good. We're running short of time, so I'm just going to go ahead and just show you guys this really quick. Here's the thing, the wording break with precedent. I feel like there's another word for that. Like, you can use one word. Starts with a U, ends with unprecedented. We're gonna these next 4 years are gonna put the media, including Fox News. There's gonna be a bunch of hooey. Anyways, in stupid news, here we go. Oh, did I get kicked off? I did get kicked off of this, but luckily, guys, here we go. AOC smacks down Ted Cruz after he says Paris climate agreement is about the citizens of Paris. Okay. We understand nuance, right? You get it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right? Like when we say the American people don't want this, we're not talking about the American people, right? The essence. Okay. So here's Ted Cruz's original statement. By rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, President Biden indicates he's more interested in the views of the citizens of Paris than in jobs and the citizens of Pittsburgh. This agreement will do little to affect the climate, will harm the livelihoods of Americans. You ready to get roasted?
Let's go.
Nice tweet, Senator Cruz. Quick question. Do you also believe the Geneva Convention was about the views of the citizens in Geneva? Boom! Roasted! Roasted! Got him! Got him! Damn! Dude! Dude!
How the fuck did she get elected? How do they give her at AOC on Twitter? So she... Well,
God, that's a good question because she's asking for everyone who believes U.S. senators should be competent and not undermine our elections to incite insurrection against the United States. She's asking for that competency. It doesn't get any more competent than that, man. Ted Cruz got roasted. It's over. AOC won. Sorry, Senator AOC won. Ted Cruz 0. And that was stupid news for today. We're going to go ahead and move on to animal news. This is good news. This is good. This is good right here. This is good. Look, check this out. Okay. What's that?
That's a cute bunny.
Okay. According to Vag News.
Veg News?
EPA Chief Just pardoned lab rabbits from animal testing. That's right, John.
God.
Before leaving
kicked off of
Before leaving office, John, Andrew Wheeler directed the EPA to retire the last remaining rabbits used for their ejaculatory fluids inside the laboratory. I didn't read that part. I thought they were...
You're kidding.
Oh my God, that's not the animal testing I thought they were doing.
The EPA chief
I thought they were injecting
lab rabbits.
I thought they were injecting them with stuff.
Okay. For their
Okay, hold on. This was tax paid? An EPA taxpayer funded laboratory where they were using rabbits for their ejaculatory fluids? And they were pardoned?
Good night, America. Learn Mandarin. Thanks for watching.
Oh, really quick. Well, our daily recall today is going to be...
We're changing the name of the show to What the Fuck. This is fucking unbelievable.
And then just to end the day, man, the daily recall today is going to be a Tarantino wholesale foods distributor. Apparently, they recalled ready-to-eat chicken that was not ready to eat. So you gotta have a good eye for this, right? I mean, it's 1,000 pounds of ready.
Mary's fully cooked chicken breast.
Yeah, Mary's fully cooked chicken breast.
That's false advertising.
Was not fully cooked. The problem was discovered when the firm received a customer complaint that the ready-to-eat chicken
appeared to be undercooked.
So, folks, if you've got Mary's full cooked chicken breast,
I'm gonna go turn off the fucking camera.
All right.
This is ridiculous.
We're done. Thanks. Join us.
We
again
love you,
tomorrow.
America. Don't sell out to the commies.